The Panthers deal at $2.2 billion as a purchase price feels a little lower than we thought it was going to be, or at least I was told it was going to be. So what do you get? Is $2.2 billion the going rate now for an NFL team?
Well, here's the thing. Anything is worth whatever someone will pay for it. And the bottom line is, now, David Tepper may be paying less than what a guy like Ben Navarro would have paid, but the owners want Tepper in the club more than they wanted Navarro in the club. But, I thought it was odd that on Monday the Supreme Court opens the gateways or Pandora's box to nationwide gambling on sports. Mark Cuban comes out and says the value of every franchise in the 4 major league sports is going to double. And, oh, by the way, let's go sign this paperwork right now and get this deal done for $2.2 billion. Before somebody shows up and says, I'll give you 3.2 or 3.5 or whatever the case may be. So for Tepper, it's a heck of a time to be getting in on the front end of this wave that's going to carry everyone who knows where. But I can see within a few years he decides to sell off half the asset. He could make back his 2.2 and still have 50% of a team that is worth another 2.2 on top of it. So he's getting in at a great time. And I think if there had been more time for this to marinate, there may have been somebody else who would have coughed up more than what Tepper's paying.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, because if we've opened this up with gambling and what it's going to mean for the NFL, but we don't know what it's going to mean for each team right now, right?
Well, that's right, because, Dan, here's the thing. If you're in a state that doesn't pass gambling, then look at the money you're losing, assuming that part of the game day experience is going to be sitting in the stadium and betting on each play. Is it a run? Is it a pass? Hey, 48-yard field goal. Good? No good. Here are the odds. Make your bet. And if you can't do that in the stadium during the game, if I'm the Chiefs and Missouri refuses to pass sports betting, at some point, isn't that a factor in where your team's going to be?
Yeah.
So, aren't you going to move to a state that lets you do that? Because, the money that they're going to make from this, of a captive audience that is otherwise sitting there checking their phones anyway, but not paying attention to the game, now they're fully engaged in the game. So I think that it will be a factor, and I think that the teams are going to want and they're going to lobby aggressively for sports betting to be allowed to the maximum in the states where they operate.
And this whole integrity fee, thank God these leagues are backing off of it. They sound really, it's embarrassing that they're saying we want to provide the integrity when you bet, that there is integrity attached to this, as if the leagues aren't required to do that in the first place, even before betting was instituted, that now there's an integrity fee that they're going to charge 1%. That's embarrassing by these leagues.
Oh, I agree with you, Dan. I kind of respect the nerve, right? Because what do you got to lose? Hey, will you give me some free money? Oh, okay. Well, it didn't cost me anything to ask for free money. But they twist themselves in knots with this notion of they need to have money in order to put. They're going to make the money. First of all, they already have the money to ensure that there's integrity in their games. They have every incentive to have integrity in their games now. They'll make more money organically, not by trying to hijack any of the various states, but they'd better ensure integrity in the games, Dan, because if we have an incident, and I remember 2008, Chargers-Steelers, Scott Green, the former referee, made a bad call late, and the Steelers didn't cover. They still won the game. It didn't affect the outcome of the game, but it kept the Steelers from covering, and there were stories, AP wire, millions of dollars change hands, and that was all through illegal betting. If you have an outcome like that in an environment where it's legalized betting and we can instantly pull up a reliable number of how much money changed hands because of a mistake, that's when you worry about Congress showing up. And I think the NFL's worst-case scenario, and I think the other sports leagues feel the same way, if Congress eventually says we need an agency that's going to provide oversight to our sports, to our professional sports, taking away power that the NFL currently keeps to itself. The NFL doesn't want anybody else telling it how to do its business. So if they don't get their house in order, integrity fee or no integrity fee, if they have bad calls that affect the outcome of a game, the outcome of a bet, sooner or later, Congress is going to say we need to force these sports leagues to ensure that they truly do have full and complete integrity in how their games unfold.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.